You're born underground in a borrowed burrow. That's right. Your mom didn't even dig it herself. She just stole it from some poor animal that probably isn't alive anymore. You're tiny, bald, blind, and completely useless. The first thing you do is let out a weak, squeaky cry, which is not intimidating at all. But don't worry. You'll grow into your attitude soon enough. For now, you do what all baby honey badgers do. Eat, sleep, and occasionally bite your mom's tail when she's not looking. She doesn't have time for your nonsense. She's too busy guarding the burrow because out there, everything wants to eat. The first few weeks, learning the hard way. Your mom doesn't coddle you. She's the definition of tough love. Your first lesson? Bees. She takes you to a beehive and starts tearing it apart like it owes her money. Bees? Stinging her face, her paws, her entire body. But she does not care. She keeps eating completely unfazed. Then she looks at you. Your turn. You nervously poke the hive. A bee stings your nose. You scream, fall over, and flail in the dirt. Mom? She just keeps eating. Because in honey badger life, pain is temporary. Snacks are forever. You don't know it yet, but this lesson will come in handy very soon. Your first hunt disaster strikes. At 6 months old, mom decides you're old enough to start hunting. No explanations, no instructions. She just walks away. You're expected to keep up or get left behind. One day you spot a scorpion. It looks slow and easy, so you pounce and immediately regret it. The scorpion dodges your attack and stings you right on the paw. You flop onto the ground whining like a puppy, but the venom? It barely affects you. After a few minutes, you get back up, angrier than ever. You grab the scorpion, bite its head off, and eat it. Lesson learned. Pain? Irrelevant. Food? The only thing that matters. Growing up. Now you're the menace. By the time you're a year old, mom has had enough of babysitting. One day, she just leaves. No goodbye. No life advice. Nothing. You are now completely alone. For the first time, you realize the world is terrifying. Everywhere you go, something wants to fight you. A porcupine? You attack it and regret it instantly. A cobra? You try to eat it, get bitten, and pass out for hours. Then you wake up and eat the snake anyway. A leopard? You pick a fight and actually win because you're too stubborn to die. Slowly, you start to understand the honey badger way. You don't have to win fights. You just have to make them so miserable that no one wants to fight you again. And it works. Lions, hyenas, leopards, they all learn one thing. Messing with you isn't worth the headache. Adulthood. The ultimate troublemaker. By the time you're 2 years old, you have a reputation. You're not the biggest predator in the savannah, but you act like you are. If a leopard has a fresh kill, you steal it. If wild dogs get too close, you charge at them. If a hyena looks at you funny, you fight it. One time you even picked a fight with a fully grown male lion. You didn't win, but you didn't lose either, because that's the thing about you. You never give up. Even when you should. Territory battles, you versus everyone. At 3 years old, you decide it's time to find your own territory. Problem? All the good spots are taken. Your first attempt, you walk into what seems like an empty patch of land, until you realize another. Honey badger already lives there. No warning, no growling, just teeth, claws, and chaos. The fight is fast, brutal, and unnecessarily aggressive. You leave with new scars and a bruised ego. Eventually, you find a new area, occupied by a jackal. But unlike the honey badger, the jackal isn't interested in fighting. You charge at it growling, and it just runs away. Victory. Now this land? The final years. Slowing down. By the time you're 5 years old, you've mastered life as a honey badger. Your body is covered in scars, each one a story of a fight you refuse to back down from. You still steal food from bigger predators. You still pick fights you shouldn't win but somehow don't lose. But something's different. You're tired. The battles that used to excite you, now they just hurt. One day, a younger honey badger wanders into your territory looking to prove himself. You size him up. You remember when that was you, eager, reckless, and with something to prove. The fight is rougher than you expected. He bites hard, and for the first time, you feel your age. You win. Barely. But you know one day you don't wake up. There's no dramatic battle, no final showdown. You simply find a shaded spot under a tree, curl up, and let the savanna move on without you. Somewhere out there, another honey badger is biting its mom's tail for the first time, or maybe it's charging at something 10 times its size. Because that's the honey badger way. You didn't leave a legacy. You didn't need to. For the years you were here, you lived exactly as a honey badger should. Stubborn, fearless, and completely unstoppable. And that's more than enough. So yeah, being a honey badger? Not as fun as it sounds. You're born helpless. You grow up fighting everything that moves. And by the time you finally get good at life, you're too exhausted to enjoy it. But hey, it could be worse. You could be an animal with even less luck. And trust me, there's plenty of them. Check out the next video to see who has it worse.